Day 6. Create with purpose. Quote from William Blake. I must create a system or be enslaved by another man's. I will not reason and compare. My business is to create. I am. Every time you realize that you created something, no matter how small, write it down. Otherwise, you're creating little things every day that you're going to forget. This practice will grow your knowing that your thoughts create, because right now, you're just shrugging the creations off. For example, you created the security guard knocking on the door last night and saying the music was too loud. Feel. Yes, Erin feared that, so she created it. I am. Yes. People usually write that sort of thing off to coincidence instead of recognizing the power they have. That's what a coincidence is. It's your thoughts creating. That's why the world is full of coincidences. It's because coincidences are happening every day that people shrug them off so easily. You become conditioned to seeing them all the time. If coincidences were a rare event, it wouldn't be so easy to shrug them off. So yes, start noticing and acknowledging your creative power. Write it down when you notice you create something. Feel. Acknowledge it. Write it down and say, yes, I created it. Even if it's something you don't want, admit you created it. Because it gives you the power to know, I can create. I am. Absolutely. How empowering. Even if it's not what you wanted, you created it. Once you know that you create what you don't want, it's just as easy to create what you want. If you blame something else for creating in your life what you do not want, you're leaving it to someone else to create what you do want, and that's probably not going to happen. Feel. Is this why we have created the idea of an external God? We don't want to take responsibility for what we created if it wasn't what we wanted. I am. If you ask an external source to create what you want, you are disempowering yourself and robbing yourself of the opportunity to create what you want. Feel. Okay. So you mentioned Erin creating the security guard knocking on the door. What else have we created recently? I am. You created the puppy being potty trained. You put that into universal mind and it was created and sent into the puppy. Feel. It's totally obvious that we created the puppy being potty trained, but we were creating him not being potty trained by worrying about him being on the carpet all the time. I am. Yes. Feel. But the act of creating it seems so natural that I can't pinpoint when we created it, when we put that into universal mind. I am. When you decided there was nothing good or bad about the puppy, he just was, that there was nothing to be fixed because he was already perfect, then that's what he became. You created upon him. Since we're all one, we're all linked completely into universal mind to the extent that there is no separation between any of us. What we think immediately is. That's why you can immediately create upon an animal. They don't have their own creative thoughts. Feel. Do we only need one thought to create, or do we have to think it over and over again? I am. There are two reasons so few people create with one thought. First, most people have the thought, and then they have another 500, 1,000, a million thoughts doubting that first thought. Every doubt has the same creative power as the original thought. The original thought created it immediately, and things were put in action. But as soon as you have one doubting thought, that's the new creation. Wow. The second reason is oneness. Everyone around you is creating you and your environment with their thoughts just as much as you are. Most of these people do not understand their thoughts create and are creating an autopilot with no doubts that you will continue to be exactly as they see you now. If you still have your persona, you may have to take action to create what you want in physical world, because if others see you taking action, they will start to believe in your new creation and create it with their thoughts. Feel. Other people can be affected by our creations. I am. Yes. Feel. Because they are us. I am. Yes. Feel. Does that mean we are being affected by other people's creations? Can we choose not to be a part of that creation and think I am going to create something different? I am. You cannot choose to not be part of their creation because you cannot think for another person. You can choose to make what you create for yourself so strong that another's creation cannot alter who you are. Feel. Is this why it takes most people a long time to get what they are trying to create? I am. Time is a limitation. It is a creation. Feel. So there is no time? There is just now and the present moment? I am. Yes. Feel. If we thought time into existence, can we think time travel into existence? I am. Yes. Anything can be created in a physical world. You're starting to understand your potential. Feel. How do you get rid of our doubting thoughts? I am. Take action. Action obliterates doubts. Start by building. To build, you decide, I'm creating this. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to listen for my inner voice to tell me what to do next. I am is going to help you every step of the way to move you forward. You just need to listen to your inner voice. When you see progress, when you see, touch, hear, taste, feel how I am is precisely guiding you to this new creation, you'll start to trust, to know, and to understand I am. Once you have built this creation, you will experience the joy of knowing you are a creator. The more things we build and create together, the more we'll have knowing that you are I am, and your thoughts create. Your doubts will fade as your knowing grows. Feel. That's awesome. Show us results and then we start to believe. I am. Yes. You are programmed to believe only that which is already physical, what you can touch, taste, feel, and hear. Through building, we reprogram you to know that you are unlimited creator. Feel. Right. It's like baby steps along the way to help me believe what's true. I am. Yes. You need to reprogram yourself to know that your new thoughts, new creations are. Most people are not aware their thoughts are created immediately. Even if they have heard those words, they do not know it. We will build together as many times as it takes for you to know. People generally believe they have responsibility to physically change their lives. You cannot physically change anything unless you start in your mind. All actions start in mind. Hard and easy doesn't really exist. There are only degrees of knowing. When you start doing anything you haven't done before, you think it is hard because you don't have the habit built up to know that it is easy. When you're doing something that you have done numerous times before, you say, this is easy. You have built a habit and know I've done it before. I have a knowing that I can do it again. Feel. So it's the knowing that creates the results, not the repetition. I am. Absolutely. Knowing creates everything. There's nothing that is not created in mind. Whether you know that you're good at something or you know that you aren't good at it. Knowing is knowing. So why not know you are good at everything? You are. You are, I am. Feel. So basically, how I've thought about it in the past is a decision. If I decide it's going to happen, it will happen. If I don't make that decision, it doesn't happen. But really, it's knowing. I am. If you have a persona, yes, set a goal and decide you'll get there. Feel. So if you are God without a persona, there is no decision to be made because I am. Because you know the one law is. Every thought you think is immediately created. There's no deviation. You are thinking, if I make a decision that I am going to do something, I believe that it will happen. I also believe that there are earthly limitations that will make it so I can't immediately be that which I have decided to be. I'll have to take action, but I know from habitual deciding in the past that when I decide, I eventually get there. Erin, like many people, is the opposite. Many times in the past, Erin has set goals but gave up before she reached the end. She didn't have a knowing from habitual pattern of reaching her goals. It may or may not have happened based on all of her thoughts going forward. If you are I am without a persona, there is no decision necessary because you know that your thought is created immediately. Feel. So everything you decide is because you think it is going to take you a while to do all these things, but really there is no decision necessary. I am right. Because you have personas, the decisions help you build your knowing that your thoughts create. Feel. If I said to myself, I've decided to do this, so I will take the necessary steps, I'm building in something unnecessary to the creation. I am. It is necessary if you still have a persona and need to build your knowing. It is a way to believe, to know when you aren't fully I am. It's a tangible knowing instead of knowing that I am. A tangible knowing is, I know that's a table. I know that's a wall. I know that in the past when I've made a decision, I eventually get there. Taking action and following the steps will also convince the people around you to change their thought about you and start creating what you have decided to create. Feel. Is that why people say when you start something, always see it through? That will lead to success? I am. Yes, you build up on knowing that when you make a decision, it happens. Feel. That's why you take action you believe to be necessary to create? I am. When most people make a decision, they find the steps along the way to be difficult because they are unnecessary. People have this thought in their mind that when a decision has been made, there will be many difficult steps to get to where they want to be. So they create that. Instead, they could believe this is an easy decision and the steps along the way will be easy. When you became a vegan, the steps along the way were easy. This is because when you decided to be vegan, you believed it would be easy. You created it being easy. Feel. Most people I talk to say, I couldn't do that. Or I tried then, it was too hard. I am. Your belief and your knowing had changed. Feel. Right. There are things I'm good at now that were difficult for me to get good at because of my limiting beliefs about myself. I am. Yes, anything that limits I am makes everything more difficult. Feel. So if you have no limitations to I am, nothing is difficult? I am. Easy and difficult doesn't exist to I am. They only exist in human language. When you make a decision or goal, that creation is immediate, but you are including conditions that you have to take steps to accomplish it. You're building limiting beliefs into your creation. However, since you have a persona, building actions into your creation may be necessary to bring it into physical world. If action is necessary, build into your creations that each step will be easy. Then listen to your inner voice each step of the way. Feel. What about the laws of physics and laws of gravity? These things we perceive as concrete. To us they are laws. Is there any truth to those, or are they just creations like everything else? I am. They are creations, so they currently exist. You could find a mathematical explanation for them that would work. What is created is, but just because a thing has been created doesn't mean that it can't be changed by new creation. Feel. If we wanted to change the law of gravity, would everybody have to be on board with that, or would it just take one person to make that decision? I am. Take someone who is aware that they are a creator and is listening to their inner voice. They create something, their creation gets a little publicity, and people start talking about it. Whether people believe it or not is irrelevant. The fact that they are thinking it, wondering about it, means more people will start creating it. Feel. Is that why there is always a pioneer in everything that is done? I am. Yes, all of a sudden everybody's doing it. Feel. It's like the man who broke the 4-minute mile in running. For centuries no one could do it, but then he did it. Within a few months, other people were running a mile in less than 4 minutes too. Currently over 1,400 athletes have broken the 4-minute mile. It is now considered the standard for professional male middle distance runners. I am. He created it. The others saw it and their belief changed from knowing it was impossible to knowing that it could be done. Feel. Do you have to know you are I am to create something new like that? I am. It doesn't matter if you know that you are I am or not. You only need to know that something can be accomplished. Feel. So he had a knowing on this particular thing. It doesn't mean that he has an overall knowing. I am. Right. Feel. I can see how that pretty much describes everything that's ever been created. I am. They have the belief that they can create something new despite everyone else believing it's not possible. Main thoughts from day 6. Coincidences are evidence of your thoughts creating. Write down everything you create to grow your knowing that you are a creator. Doubting thoughts have the same creative power as thoughts of what you want. Action obliterates doubts. All actions start in the mind. Knowing creates everything.